Hey, what's up guys? Valley Fine here. I am back. Welcome to the channel. Now, I was just over on Pa Pokeman's channel. We were talking about his brand new tier list, and if you don't remember, he's the guy that did the first tier list for Marvel Strike Force, and he's back. Updated, new characters. Some of the characters are ranked a little differently, and I think he did a good job on the list. Now, I don't necessarily agree with everywhere he placed them, but we discussed that on his channel because, and you know, that's fine because everybody has their own opinions on the game. We discuss where some characters be moved around. We discuss the top characters, why they're ranked so high. We discuss the bottom characters, why they're ranked so low. And it's a fun time we have. It's a good discussion. Make sure you guys check that out after this video. I'm putting a link to the video in the description down below. Now, if you're coming from that video, what's up, guys? In this one, we are talking about minions. We're talking about the minions that should be on this list because he purposefully didn't include any minions on the list just because most of them are not that good. So I'll discuss some minions and where they should be ranked on this list. And yeah, some of them are real high, some of them are mid-tier, and we don't really talk about the bad ones on this in this video as well. But we have another fun time, and I try to do this all off of memory. I try to remember all their skills off of memory, just because the way the call was set up, I couldn't pull it up while I was talking. So I don't think I'm making mistakes. I went back and looked at it, but if I do, that is why. I don't remember all their kits off the top of my head. But we have another great discussion. It's a fun video, guys. Enjoy. I am back with the main man, Pa Pokeman. What's up, man?
Hey guys, I'm over here now to talk about minions.
So yes, we did. He put out a new tier list. I think most of the characters are around where they should be. I like that you put Ronin and Scientist Supreme all the way in F class. That's where they belong.
Yeah.
There's some minions that are way better than them, and we're going to talk about them now. Now, guys, I'm trying to do this off of memory. The way we have this call set up, I can't look at their kits. So I made some notes here. So if I'm wrong in these skills, I apologize, but I will put it on the list. I'll put it on the screen while I'm talking, just in case I'm incorrect about something. But let's go. So first, the best minion. We talked about him when we did the protectors list together. I think Hand Sentry needs to be on this list. Now, I would put him around A class. He's a real good protector. He gives stealth to the rest of his team. He gives evasion to some of the people on the team, depending how you have that skill leveled. Where would you place him? Do you know his kit well enough to place him, or
I think
where do you think you would place him if you were putting him on this list? I have him around A right now.
I think if he were to not be, I think it really depends on his team comp. Normally, I think if he's just on his own, I'd put him like a B or a C. But if you're pairing him up with a character like Iron Man or Rocket Raccoon, who really need as many turns as they can get to charge up to pull off their big attacks, I think he could rise up to an A tier if he's put onto the right team.
Yeah, he's really good protecting the other team. Now, survivability, but you're gonna keep your main weapons alive, and that's what I think he brings to the team. Next guy, Mercenary Lieutenant. This guy is super underrated. I think most people are sleeping on this guy. He's kind of like a poor man's Black Widow. If you can't farm Black Widow, this guy does some of the similar things. Now, his big move, he gives speed up and offense up to everybody on the team. Actually, I don't know if it's everybody on the team, but I know if it's leveled up enough. If it's leveled up enough, it is everybody on the team. I think other than Kingpin, he's the only guy that could do offense up to his whole team, which is huge. You're getting 50% more attack. So you can kill that other team a lot faster, and you're getting speed up to everybody. And other than Black Widow, he's the only other guy that does that. Plus, on his basic, he's giving out energy, and then on his passive, he has a chance to heal. So really, really solid support character that can fit in your team, depending who you got. Where do you think you would rate Mercenary Lieutenant?
I think I'd put him in a solid B, and if he really wanted to, I think he could be an A. He provides, instead of a 2-turn speed up like Black Widow can, he provides a 1-turn speed up. Well, what's nice is his is guaranteed for all allies. Black Widow's only guaranteed for Shield and Avengers. The rest is just an 80% for the other allies. So he's actually like a guaranteed speed up. You don't have to worry about RNG if you're not synergizing him. And the offense up is an interesting twist on it. So instead of going faster for longer, hopefully you can just kill them in time. So I like how he's like a different take on Black Widow.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. Now I think I don't have it pulled up in front of me. I think you have his basic and then his move that gives speed up and offense up to everybody is only a 2-turn cooldown. So so you're pretty much attacking and then buffing with him. So I like him. I'd agree. I'd agree. I think he's like a high B, low A. I think is where I would put him on the list. He's a really, really good character. I like him. And the other one that I think deserves a lot of mention is Shield Operative. In a specific situation, there's campaign missions that you have to keep somebody alive. She's really good at keeping one character alive with her move that gives them stealth, gives them health.
Yeah.
That's what she does. She's really good at it.
Yeah, she's very useful, but she very specific in the kind of scenarios that you would be using her in. She's not necessarily the best for PvP because, I mean, again, it'd be nice to protect your blasters, but there's better characters like Black Widow or Hand Sentry that can do that and do that for everyone. But she's very helpful for certain campaign missions.
Yeah, I think in those certain campaign missions where you have to protect someone, I would put her in the S class. And just as an overall character, I think she is way far above any other Shield minions. I would put her maybe overall as a character, because I know this list is overall. I'll put her maybe in the C or D class for this list. What do you think? Maybe a mid C, low C, or a high D?
I'd say that's a fair place to put her in. Low C, high D. I think that sounds about right for her.
Which still makes her better than the rest of the Shield minions.
And better than Iron Fist.
Yeah, I think she is better than Iron Fist. All right, let's move on. Mercenary, Riot Guard, Mercenary Sniper. I think they fall in around a C, maybe a low B if you're pushing it, but I think they would fall in the C on this list. Really good damage. Mercenary Riot Guard, really solid tank character. I mean, nothing special about his kit. He doesn't do anything special like Captain America does, but he just does what a tank needs to do. That's all he does. And Mercenary Sniper does some really good damage. There's a really good kit for that. I think around C is where they should belong.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Riot Guard is he does have a 25% block chance if you were to fully upgrade his passive. Now, we can't get that high up because it's 64, but if you were to hypothetically have it up, 25% block chance, that isn't half bad. It's about half of what Captain America can do. So he's actually one of the more tanky minions in the entire game.
Yeah, I'd agree. For minion tanks, he's one of the better minion tanks. Obviously, the best is Hand Sentry, but as far as just straight minion tanks, I think it would be the second best minion tank after Hand Sentry.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Who else? We got Kree. Now, these Kree characters, there's some solid ones here. Kree Noble, Kree Cyborg, Kree Reaper. All of them, if you put the minions on this list, should be on this list somewhere. I'm thinking high C, low B for all of them because what they do on their basic, all of them give energy to the rest of their team. So that's a great basic. And the rest of their kits, they all do some pretty good damage and help their team out a little. So I like these three Kree characters. I like them all better than Ronin.
No.
I think high C is, or maybe even low B is where I would put them. Where would you put them on this list?
I feel a C is a fair place to put them. The Kree rely very heavily on each other, so if you were to put them in a random team, I don't know about a C, maybe like a low C, high D. But when you have the Kree paired up, they're all assisting off of each other. They gain bonuses if each other are on the team. So I think if you put the Kree on a right team and it's a full Kree team, then I think you're looking at a strong C+, B- team.
Yeah, I mean, you have them C, D, I have them C, B, so maybe right around C is where they could go on this list. Because this list is a little different than the other list that I was working on. This one is kind of for the whole game, whereas the other one was kind of specific for each game mode. But if you're looking at them the whole game, I think C could be a fair because in each mode they do good, and I think you're sleeping a little bit on that energy out on their basic. I think that is really really solid. It helps the rest of the team, especially if you're putting on a full Kree team, and they have someone like a Karath or someone that could really make use of the extra energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the Kree are a pretty okay choice for a team.
All right, another guy, two Hydra guys I want to talk about: Hydra Rifle Trooper, Hydra Sniper.
Mm-hmm.
They're good. Good damage. And maybe C or D is where I would put them on this list. What do you think? I mean, other than dealing damage, I don't remember too much about their kits.
If we're looking at their basic attacks, Hydra Rifle Trooper does deal more damage than Punisher from how it appears just off of first look, so you could do a lot worse.
Maybe that's C right above Punisher.
I mean, honestly, 230% with his hail of bullets. Let me hop over to Punisher real quick. Oh, we're going to go over to Punisher. So remember, 230, that's the important number here. If we scroll back over to him, let's see his AoE attack. He'll be doing, at max, 170 with 20% piercing. So if you could do a lot worse than the Hydra Rifle Trooper.
Yeah, I mean, they need to switch around something they're doing with Punisher. Punisher... See, and I don't know if you watch his video, I think Punisher could be actually a little lower down in the E class.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to go check out the video on his channel for that, where we discuss all that. We're just discussing minions in this video. And then the last four I'm going to mention are the rest of the hand minions that I didn't mention. So we got Hand Assassin, Hand Blade Master, Hand Archer, Hand Sorcerers. They're all decent characters, but when they're working together, they really complement each other well. Now, if you look at the tags, they don't really have a lot of tags and specific passive that mention the hand. Archer does, but they really complement each other well. You could put all these minions together, and they would do really good in Blitz. And I think Blitz is the mode that these guys shine. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if you would make a full hand minion arena team as your A team, just because there's so many other better characters out there. I'm not sure if you would use them for content in the raids. I mean, maybe, but again, when you're talking about the best possible team, I'm assuming you have better teams than just the hand. But don't get me wrong, the hand is really good. I would probably put them individually on this list, maybe about the C category.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe D, because I do like Jessica Jones, Nebula, and Bullseye. So if they're down in D, maybe the hand would go there. But they're good. Where would you put the rest of these hand minions on this team? I do think they need a spot on this list somewhere.
I feel a mid C.
We're including minions.
I think mid C, low B is a pretty fair place to put them. I think they have pretty good damage output, like Hand Blade Master and Hand Archer. I think they both deal respectable amounts of damage. They can dodge a lot. They can revive if you have Nobu on the team, so they can be a mildly irritating team to go up against. I just think there's not a lot else outside of damage in their kits. They do have some effects like heal block. What's interesting is the Hand Archer is kind of like a poor man's Hawkeye, a very, very poor man's Hawkeye. He could clear positive effects, but he's not as good as Hawkeye. Hawkeye can do a lot more, but say you needed some of the aspects Hawkeye brings to a team, the Hand Archer, you could do a lot worse than throwing Hand Archer into your team.
No, Hand Archer is their main dispel, and it's one of the only, if not the only, mass dispel that you get for the whole team.
Mm-hmm.
So that is that's going to be the main dispel person on the hand team when you got a taunt or something that you want to get around. Really important for that hand team to have Hand Archer on there. Now, if you do have Nobu, one of those minions that he can call is Hand Archer. So if you're running Nobu, it's up to you whether you want to include another Hand Archer or just take the chance if he's going to summon a Hand Archer. But yeah, all of them are solid. So those are what I would include on. I wouldn't include any aim.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like any of the aim minions at all. I don't like any of the aim team at all.
They hurt themselves a lot. I think an interesting thing is, well, I'd put them as D on their own. They really, maybe E. I mean, they're very meh on their own.
The aim minions?
Yeah.
I think most of them belong E at the highest.
Uh-huh.
I think a lot of them are F there, right along with Scientist Supreme, because she's down there in that trash bin with Ronan there. I think most of the rest of the aim belongs there.
One of the interesting things, though, is Scientist Supreme. One of the aspects we don't like is her switching negative effects. But you could potentially have, like, maybe a C-tier team if, let's say, you put in all the AIM members, you had them debuff themselves with all their skills, and then you had Scientist Supreme come in and then flip all those to buffs. You could potentially have a interesting team, but it's really not that reliable, and you're better off just throwing in characters who can deal damage without hurting themselves than going through all that trouble.
I agree that would be an interesting team.
Yeah.
But you would need a lot to go right, and you're just leaving so much up to chance with that team. It's not going to be very reliable. I don't know. I mean, maybe once in a while that team would work and just work exactly how the developers thought it was going to, but I don't know. A lot of times I think there's so much that could go wrong on the team. It's just
there's definitely
it's tough. Right now it's tough to run an AIM team.
I think overall the common thing you'll find with a lot of minions is most of them aren't all that great on their own, with a few exceptions, but you'll find that they're pretty good for supplementing other characters or filling in the blanks in a lot of teams. So they're a nice thing to build up, say for Blitz. If you need to run Blitz, you could make a couple of pretty decent teams out of the minions in this game.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's where the minions will shine, because would you put any of these minions in your A team by themselves?
Maybe Lieutenant.
Probably not.
Maybe.
Just because there's better characters. You're not gonna just be using minions. You have access to farm a lot of these better characters. I mean, Yondu's, you're farming him on day one. Quake, you can farm early. Gamora, you can farm early. Hawkeye, you can farm him early. You're getting access to a lot of these better characters really early. I don't see a place in your top team, but when you want to expand your roster, make a roster with a bigger team, these minions really help for that blitz mode, because you want a big roster that could handle some of the tougher teams, and I think that's where these guys would shine there. But I think that is it. I think that's all we want to talk about. I try to keep my videos short, but they always go long, so I think that's it for now. So make sure you check out Pa Pokeman and his channel. Check out the discussion of his tier list that we did. Some things that we agree upon, some things that we don't. And just remember, these tier lists, they're the one huge thing they're really fun to put together. They give you a general idea of where all these characters go, but that team composition is super important. You could put a lot of these S characters, but if they don't have any composition with each other and they don't fill out these roles, then it's not really going to be a good team. But so make sure you fill out your roster with guys that have specific roles, and you have a plan for when you're putting together your team.
Yeah. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed everything. If you came from my channel to check out Valley's video, I hope you subscribe, because he puts out a lot of awesome Marvel Strike Force content all the time. And I hope if you're Valley Flying fans, maybe you did come to check out my video, and I hope you maybe stay for a while. But I'll leave Valley. You can lead the outro. What do you want to end it with?
You don't want to do your thing? What is the thing you always say?
If I must, I'll do my thing.
I'll let you say it.
All right, guys. But what do I know about minions? I am just a 16-year-old. Signing off, guys.
All right, hey, thanks, Pa Pokeman. And make sure you guys go to his channel. You guys, look, he's still wearing glasses. We need to get him more subscribers. Go to his channel, subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Valley Flying, out.